furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you, wherever you're watching from. We want to know. We know it is a week, and it's a good one coming up. We know there's a lot of things to look forward to. I can say this. A lot of you are probably having fun from the week, and you probably did some fun things, and there was a lot to have fun with. I know we've been talking about for quite some time. We've been talking about, again, the show. We're talking about how to go ahead and see something fun. And I can tell you right now, our very own Jesse Sanchez was able to kind of see something that he's been talking about for quite some time. And Jesse, what is the movie, and is it a 5-star or not?
Yeah, what movie is it? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. 5 stars. I would rate it 4 stars, and the only reason because of that, what a lot of people do not know is you kind of have to watch WandaVision to truly understand this movie.
Yeah.
And that's all what I'm gonna say, because a lot of people have not seen WandaVision, so they don't really know what's happened to her after Endgame. So, and that leads into Doctor Strange. So it gives you a little bit more clear glimpse of how she is mentally.
Yeah. And I agree 100%. And I would say this. I would say, at the end of the day, it was a good movie. I would even say great movie. I would say that I actually went to go see it, and I saw it twice. Okay, that's how much I enjoyed it. I don't enjoy many Marvel movies as I did this one. The only movie I ever saw in the same day was Dark Knight. Now, and I know a lot of people were like, huh? But when Dark Knight came out, I was kind of like, oh, God, this is going to be dumb. Then I saw it all the way through. I go, that was the best awesome movie I've ever seen, right? That was the very first one, right? Because they did it in a different way. Now, Doctor Strange, I didn't like the ending, I'm not going to lie. I didn't like the eye, because obviously it's an evil eye. You know what I mean? I just didn't like that. But my point is, I like the fact that it kind of did something that I think, I'm just going to put it out there. For people that know Marvel, are you a DC fan? And those that are DC fans, are you a Marvel fan? Because in this film, and everybody's alluded it to already, Jesse, you have as well in the past, you said, what if that voice that you hear is somebody special? Now, the question is, are they bridging all the gap of Sony, Fox, and of course, well, now Disney owns Marvel, right? And the answer would be what, Jesse?
I don't know. What do you mean?
You don't know what I mean?
Oh, you're talking about the speedster thing?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not even talking about that yet. No. Okay, so it started with Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man brought together the multiverse. That's the first time they ever talked about the multiverse, I think. But back to what Jesse's saying. There's a character that's in this that if you see Loki, then you get the rest of it. So I think if you see Loki, WandaVision, and you should get Disney Plus, right, for that. And then What If, then you'll understand the movie. So if you have a week to see it and you haven't seen those, or maybe you saw it already and you're like, what's the backstory? I think if anything, I love that Disney's so smart about this and Marvel's very smart about this. I think Stan Lee was smart about this to kind of tie them all together, because they kind of all interweave together, right? Because as we said last week when it came to Spider-Man, if you haven't seen Spider-Man, you got to see Spider-Man first. Then it'll make sense why you have so many other characters. Then when you understand that they kind of because Sony works together now with Marvel and all that they all kind of can tell the story again and again and again, right? So basically anybody that's dead or died in any one of these can come back to life, and that's the way honestly, the comics always are, right? There's always different versions of like Cyclops. There's like the 60s version of Cyclops. Then there's the 80s version of Cyclops. Then there's the 90s, right? And now there's the double digits, of 2000 and whatever you want to call it. So I think there's ways to tell it again and again and again. And I think if you're bringing Phoenix back, I think that would be really, really, really neat, right? Like, just bring her back, because she kind of like always becomes the Phoenix, and then she comes back, and then she becomes the Phoenix, and then she comes back, and then she becomes the Phoenix. They have the young ones, they have the older ones, and I think if they brought all of them in one movie, I think that would be cool for the fans. What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. If they decide to bring in other projects and stuff like that, I would love that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I propose.
Y'all want the X-Men back?
Well, okay, you kind of alluded to it already, but the X-Men will be back, right? And I will say this. I think, if anything, if you look at the lineup of what Marvel has planned going forward, you really will be excited for it. And anybody who's ever... I'll put it this way. I don't know if the young generation loves it as much, unless they get kind of like with the favorites of like Spider-Man and, the favorites. But comics need to go next level, because in our day, comics were awesome, right? And they kind of like brought it all together. Now, Dark Horse has done some neat things. Image has done some when it comes to film. And then Wildstorm, DC bought Wildstorm, I believe. But there's like Youngblood. There's so many other ones that a lot of people don't know. Wetworks is another one that they should make into a movie. Witchblade was another one that was a top cow. But there's other publishers that I think should make movies now, because people are ready for them. You know what I mean? Because that would be the original. There's one that I would love to see made, Hunter Killer. If you haven't been able to see that one, it's a Mark Silvestri creation, and he did some cool stuff. Then there's Soulfire from Michael Turner. Although he died at a young age due to cancer, Aspen Comics is like something that should be looking at that very closely. They're also the creators of technically he's a creator along with some others. What's that called? I lost it. The Water Gal. I can't remember it. Anyway, they created so many of those, and I think if they bring those back, then they have like movies for years to come, because these type of movies are like, long term. You know what I mean? They just got to do it right. TNT kind of delved into it when it came to Witchblade. Fathom, thank you. Fathom is the one that I think they should do. And honestly, I would cast Meg. Why do I call her that? Megan Fox. I was going to call Meg Ryan. Sorry. Meg Ryan would not be able to do it justice. But Megan Fox would do it justice. 100%. I guarantee it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. What do you guys say? Are some of you like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know, but there you go. I got to change the... on Facebook and on YouTube, it says a Good Man premiere. Sorry about that. It should say The Morning Show. But to plug it, sorry, Justin, I'm going to have to plug my book because I need to get paid. Seriously, I need some money here. A Good Man, I actually premiered a little bit of it, like a good 8 pages or so of the story. This is the second book I've been working on, and like I say, it's very easy to put a book together. If you have one in your mind or like an idea, I can give you some tips on how to get it done fast. And I always tell people, just go ahead and download the app. It's voice recorder. It's very simple, and you could like be on the road and just talk out your thoughts and then have it transcribed. It transcribes 30 minutes of audio for you. It's not perfect, but what I do honestly is I upload it to YouTube, and then I get the transcription, and it takes like depends how much time you have on it. I've done like anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, and it takes anywhere from like as little as like 30 minutes on a short form to as much as like 3 hours on a long form. And then you download that when you log into your YouTube account. You just mark it as private, right? You don't have to publicize it. And then you put that into like a Google Doc of like Word, and then you just copy and paste, and then you just edit it. Whenever it has like a weird word for something that you don't want, you just edit it and you do that, and then you have a story. That's how I completed a script all the way through. I'm working on the second one, and then I completed, honestly, 3 books already, all children's stories. But the script that I finished is actually a sci-fi. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to show it to the rest of those that would be interested. But, I say, hey, do what you can. Now, there is a call to action on this book, A Good Man, because it deals with something that is very prevalent, and it has to do with abuse. All right. So when you know somebody who's been physically abused in any way, right, what do you do? So I'm looking for an organization that can help people out, because what I want to put at the end of it is like a call to action. If you or someone you know is being abused, then please, call this number or find us or send us a message, or just, QR this code, or something that just says, hey, if you know somebody, don't worry about it. We can help, right? But I need a trusted organization that can be around for years, right? Not like regional are good because they work regionally, and I might work with some regional ones, but then that would be like a very special copy. But I want something that goes like national and then even international, right? What organizations are out there that you know of that are consistent and can help you out no matter what when it comes to abuse? And I know we've had subjects on this because we had a filmmaker on our show, her name Lorena Gordon, and she talked about her own story. Times Like These is the name of the short, and we should actually premiere that again. We should do like a viewing party, and then but it brings to awareness. She herself told her story of her and her brother, where they had to kind of escape from the home because they were being abused, right? And I don't remember if it was her idea, her brother's idea, or her mother's idea. I don't remember. But I remember when we actually premiered it, we were on a different network. But we honestly got some messages. And I remember somebody that said, I'm glad you said this. People don't want to talk about it, but I went through this. And I said, wow. And then I asked how she was doing. And I didn't follow up because it was kind of just like a message. And it's one of those things sometimes I go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then I get messages where people go, thank you for sharing that because I've been abused, or I'm going through abuse, or I don't know what to do. What do I do next? Because usually the abuse gets kind of out of control eventually. Not all the time, but usually it does, especially now. I don't know if you saw it, Jesse. It was a horrible story. Over the weekend, 3 children were found shot on Mother's Day. Did you see that, Jesse?
No, I tend to not look at the news on the weekend, and this is the reason why. Oh my God. What happened?
Yeah, and that's why I say obviously there was abuse, right? Like it only makes sense. This happened. LAPD is investigating the death of 3 children at a West Hills home following a 911 call of an assault with a deadly weapon. Okay, and this is on ABC's channel as well. You can check it out. A mother was arrested after her 3 young children were found dead in their home over the weekend. Officers on Sunday responded to the 22,500 block of Victory Boulevard after receiving a call of an assault with a deadly weapon, according to the LAPD. The 3 children were identified, and this is horrible, as a 12-year-old girl, 2 younger brothers, 8 and 9 years old. The children's mother, identified as Angela Flores, who's 38, is being held on $6 million bail and facing 3 counts of murder. Police have not said how the children were killed or in what condition they were found, but the investigation is ongoing. Neighbors say the family had only moved into the home about 3 months ago, but often heard arguments and screaming, including the night before the children were found. Let's see. Neighbor Priscilla Canales says, I kept hearing my family is abusing me and just kept hearing screaming, but I couldn't make out what she was saying. No further details are available at this time. But this is a thing that I say is happening in people's homes, and people are getting weird out there. So what I say is head it ahead of time, head it off, and then call the authorities, get the people involved to be able to say what's happening, because I guarantee you one of those kids was like, and I guess my question is this: how did she have a gun, right? And did she have it, or did a guy have it and he fled the scene? Is she covering for a guy? Like, what happened, and how could you allow this to happen, right? Is obviously the question of people. But I think the other question should be, were people aware of it, and did nobody call authorities in the beginning? Because that happens sometimes, right? People, like at school, they see certain behavior problems, they wonder what happened. And could it have been prevented? We always have to ask ourselves those questions. And honestly, the book that I'm talking about actually kind of addresses a very serious subject in a very different way. It's a good book. It's sad. I'm not gonna lie, but it's also one that makes you think and says, okay, if you know this, what is the recourse? The recourse is be ahead of it, right? There's a lot of stories like that. Like, did you ever watch the movie with Jennifer Lopez, Enough?
Oh, I love that movie. She kicks so much butt, and it's also scary in so many ways.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Campbell, who played the bad guy, right? He was the Rocketeer. Not Bruce Campbell. That's the wrong name.
I was about to say that's not his name. I can't remember his name.
Isn't it? Yeah, that is his name, Bruce Campbell. No,
is it?
Wait, hold on.
Let's see.
There's two Bruce. Okay, there's
It's
Billy Campbell. Okay, Bruce Campbell is in Spider-Man. That's all I'm going to say. He always makes like a little appearance. I don't know why he makes an appearance, by the way. Why does he always make an appearance in all those movies?
Because him and Sam Raimi grew up together. They started making little films together when they were younger.
That's the answer? I've always wondered that. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, dude, I get Stan Lee kind of appearing in them, but I don't know why he always appears in them. I never got that till now. Thank you, Jesse. I had no idea. Now I know. All right, people, we got to take a quick little break. Let us know what was your favorite comic growing up and or fun comic. Maybe it was Garfield. Maybe it was Heathcliff. Maybe it was Odie. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Looking to buy diamonds or jewelry this holiday season, or really any time, you need to go to this website, countryclubjewels.com, owned by my good friend and golfer, Tony Magnemi. Countryclubjewels.com has a wide assortment of amazing diamonds, diamond studs, tennis bracelets, and jewelry of all types and in all price ranges. You can trust countryclubjewels.com to have incredible prices, or call them directly if you need something special. So visit countryclubjewels.com for all your diamond and jewelry purchases. That's countryclubjewels.com.
Does shame, guilt, and martyrdom play a part in holding ourselves back from self-love, self-confidence, self-empowerment? Ambika Waters is back. With over 3 million books sold, she offers her 28th, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. Her body of work includes training programs held in Europe and North America, where she connects her participants to the realms of angels, the importance of chakras, the healing power of color and sound. Ambika Waters, the journey that she has been on, the renowned teacher, artist, and healer, has brought a lifetime of experience to her newest book, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. How to reframe the past, release your future. The guide to expanding our capacity for unlimited goodness. AmbikaWaters.com. Amazon.com. Love, love, love.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Welcome back, as it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate you and know you have a lot of things that you can always watch and or see, and we appreciate that you actually say, hey, you know what, I'm going to tune into the morning show weekdays at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. We appreciate that so much, and we also appreciate you following us. You can always follow Jesse at I am Jesse Sanchez on Instagram and on Twitter. I know I do, and he posts some fun stuff. I will say, whenever you guys post things, if you ever just want us to share it, just let us know, and maybe we can. Sometimes I don't get around to things as I should. I have several accounts, just so you know, so if I don't get back to a message and you send me one, I apologize. I've been getting back to some responses a little bit late because I've been working on my books. So that's kind of the thing I've been doing. I've kind of been busy with that, and I'm hoping to kind of go, hopefully, traveling and then kind of going like on a book tour at some point and then going from like one place to another. So let me know if you want me to come to your town, and if so, then it would be awesome. I'd love to meet you, and then maybe I could get some books sold, and then I could kind of get the word out about these books. One's about a little caterpillar that could. Another one's about a family that is going through a bad situation, and then the other one is about a robot, a boy, a girl, and a dog, and what happens when something happens along the way. You'll see. All right, lots of things going on. Jesse, you got some information over there. What's going on over there?
Yeah, do you remember when I said that they found a second barrel? It was empty in Lake Mead.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the same story right now, and I think it's the same story because evidently there were more found. Evidently.
Yep, more human remains were found. More are gonna pop up, and I'm just thinking to myself, "Oh my God, have I? I was there once. Am I just swimming in a giant lake full of dead bodies now?" I was like, "Oh my God."
Pretty much.
That's my fear. So more human remains have been found at Lake Mead less than a week after authorities discovered the remains of a man in a barrel amid a drought that has dropped the reservoir waters to, historic levels. That is crazy. Have you seen what it is at now?
I'm not gonna lie. I have a theory on that because we had rain in the mountains, but I don't know. I don't know that we get our water from Lake Mead, but I have a theory. But I'm gonna stick to it. In certain areas, they have like maybe less water, but not in all areas. I mean, it makes no sense.
I don't know. I wish I can. I wonder if they like. Do you get a reward for every body you find? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna be going over there on the weekend. Be like, shh.
Diving everywhere.
I'll be like, oh, I got $5,000 right here.
No, I think you get money if you find the criminal, right? They have those, right? Like reward if found. Yeah. So what happened, Jesse? What did they find?
So apparently, let's see, a witness saw human skeletal remains in the Calville Bay area of Lake Mead around 2 p.m. on Saturday. The National Park said the Clark County Medical Examiner has not yet identified the cause of death, but police warned last week that more bodies could turn up in the country's largest reservoir, located on the border of Arizona and Nevada, after human remains were found in a barrel last Sunday. National Park Service rangers found the barrel with skeletal remains in an area near the Hemingway Harbor on May 1st after boaters spotted it. I can only imagine just walking up to something now. I'm going to be like, yeah, there's a body in there, watch.
Yeah.
That's my mindset now. There's a body everywhere. In the walls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, there are homes like that, right? Where people discover it and then, yeah. You haven't heard of that? Yeah. Be careful. Yeah, sometimes they seal them in the walls, and then like in basements, for example, it's very common on the East Coast. But in you didn't know that? That's the thing. I know you watch horror films. Come on, think about it.
Okay.
You didn't know that? Where do you think they get these stories from, Jesse?
I don't want to imagine these things are real. If I watch a movie, I want to imagine it's fake. I don't like, especially when a horror movie turns out to be like based on true events. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a thing. It's bad that and it's horrible. The man was found shot and had likely been killed sometime between the mid 70s and early 80s based on the type of shoes the victim was found wearing, said Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer. The bodies have become uncovered as Lake Mead's water level dropped to 1,000 feet. The lowest is 1937, a year after Hoover Dam created the reservoir. Lake Mead and Lake Powell are the largest human-made reservoirs in the United States, diverting water from the Colorado River to 40 million people in 7 states, travel nations, and Mexico. Both lakes were full in 2000, but they are now roughly 30% full. But you know what, Jesse? I say this. At the end of the day, at least they found a body, right? Because how many people go missing and they don't know where they go, and then it's assumed they just ran off with like a girl or they ran off with a guy, and now you go, what happened? So at the end of the day, I hope they can identify these people, and I hope that they could figure it out, right? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Oh, by the way, I'm going to say a quick shout out to Cynthia Salas, who's tuning in. Thank you, Cynthia. I will say this. Cynthia works with an organization. I saw it. She had me tune into it. I'm not going to lie. I forgot the organization's name. But they actually help abuse victims. If you've been abused or someone you know has been abused, you should definitely I don't know if you let her know. Cynthia, let us know what organization that is. Type it out. I appreciate it. She had me tune in on Zoom, and they were speaking Spanish. I'm not going to lie, I don't speak Spanish, so I was like, what are they saying? But I knew it was about abuse, and I'm like, huh. And there's a lot of organizations like that which help women out when it comes to abuse. But there's some very interesting statistics. They're talking about homicide and how one thing leads to another. And I'm like, huh, this is very important. And those that don't know, okay, I'll say this. When it comes to abuse, my father, who was my stepfather, was abused as a kid. He always told me how bad it was growing up. And he stopped that abuse cycle, thank God. But he had a hard time with it growing up. And then his sisters had a hard time as well. So I'll say this. When people say, what is it that ends up happening, even if they are alive, I will say this. There is so much mental anguish down the line. It causes problems in teenage years. It causes problems in later years. It causes a big problem. So I say nip it in the bud. Get ahead of it. Get them, if they got to go to prison, have them go to prison. And I say the authorities need to do the next thing when it comes to these Because sometimes people are afraid because then when it's found out, the guy or girl goes next level. Because sometimes, and you mentioned it before, Jesse, you said some guys get abused by their women, right? Because it happens.
Oh yeah, sometimes a nice guy, they want to, be nice to their woman, and they'll take whatever abuse or mentally, physically, just to make them happy.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It does happen, and it shouldn't happen. And if you feel like you're being abused, it's important to know that. She says it's a coalition of organizations. Okay, can you just put the website? That'd be great. Thank you, Cynthia. And I will say this again, back to the book again, shameless promotion, but I got to sell it. Seriously, I need money. It's called A Good Man, and it's a very interesting story about two little boys who have a mother who need help. Okay, that's the premise of the story. It goes in a direction that you don't see coming, but it brings an awareness to people that this does exist. And in some homes where they say, this happened, you don't think about the thing that led up to it. You just know the end extreme, right? And it's usually like a gun or a knife or somebody found dead and or shot. And you go, what happened along the way? And I say this. Prevent it, all right? Don't let it get that far. If you don't let it get that far, then you won't have to worry about it along the way, all right? So this is about a good man who is a boy who grows up to be a good man, but had to face that and then fight it, and then, of course, do the right thing eventually. So it's a good story. It's a good, heartfelt story for kids, parents, and adults everywhere. All right, people, we need to take a quick little break. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Hi everyone, Dave Levine here. The Dave Levine Show is back on the air, 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesday mornings on KMET 1490. Join me for an hour of Law & Order stories and commentary. Law & Order is now the #1 issue for Californians. If you miss it live, you can hear or watch it 24/7 on either SoundCloud or Livestream. See you there. Thank you. Can't you see? It's just a few seconds.
Summer's almost here, and you know what that means. Sunny days and hot temperatures that make you want to stay inside. Franklin Mechanical Systems can repair or replace your air conditioning unit to get it working before the heat hits. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems is the one for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and get cool today.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the #1 choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience, handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers, with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. There are a lot of things going on around the world, and questions are, again, coming all over the place. I know some things are kind of showing up in the way of the virus, and those things are up. The numbers are kind of coming in, kind of big, by the way. 2 has kind of taken a big leap, and a lot of people are saying, hey, be careful with that. I know hostels are starting to get a little bit of surge there, and some other places, of course, are doing the right thing, and they're being ahead of it, and they're kind of saying, you know what, masks on. Other people are not doing masks at all. I've been to several places where I was the only one wearing the mask, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. I don't mind. I'll be that guy. At the end of the day, I don't want to get sick, and I don't even want to heal from it, because I've been hearing about a lot of people who get it and then they suffer months later because it gets a problem in their body or something they weren't even aware of they have. All of a sudden they now know they have, but it's like worsened. So basically, like a 30-year-old has the body of like an 80-year-old when they get and that's the information that's coming out. Again, people survive, but then they have to deal with the repercussions of just getting it. That's why I say it's different than the flu. The flu you get well from and you're fine weeks later. You get, and if you have a condition, it makes that part of your body worse. So if you have a little bit of a liver problem or you have a little bit of a kidney problem, which you would normally be able to kind of like help it out or heal it later, you can't when you have It kind of like exasperates, it worsens whatever is already something that needs to be healed. Does that make sense? So don't get okay? And if at all possible, get ahead of it, be ahead of it. All right, Jesse, what's going on over there?
Oh no, I was just reading this article. It's all like, should you ever answer a spam call? And I'm like, yes, some of them can be some of the best calls ever.
What do you mean by that? I hate spam calls.
Like if they start asking for me, I'll start making up funny voices, and I'd be like, "Hi, my name is Billy."
Oh my god! Okay, that's funny. And then record it and then play it here on the show, Jesse. You should do that.
Oh, because some of them get pretty mean.
They do. It's weird. It's like you called me, not the other way around, man.
Right? And so like, yeah, we want our money. It's not like they're calling me, but like, yeah, we want our money. Blah blah. Okay. I'll give you your money.
Yeah.
Let me first, but I'll give you your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there you go. That's the story, and stick to it. All right. There's a lot of organizations out there. CalHope is one of them. Thank you very much, Cynthia, for posting that. She said calhope.org helps you out, and I'm looking at their website. Just type it in, calhope.org. They have a lot of resources there, and they have what's called Hope Lives Here, and then they have some information. It's 833-317-HOPE, 833-317-HOPE. And it's got some interesting things there. They have a lot of impact. I'm going to click on the impact part of it. And they do things for the community, especially during COVID, because there's a lot of stuff that happened. Mental health is a big thing. Questions always come in from people going, what do we do? How do we do it? How do we help people along the way? They got a lot of people in the organization that help out, and evidently they do the right thing. So check that out. And then they have usually other member organizations that are teamed up with them that help you out along the way as well. So on that website, you'll find crisis counseling, the peer-run warm line is what they call. They have a live chat there. They have for children and teens the Youth Help Network. For mental health, they have the National Alliance on Mental Illness for California, at least, California Health and Human Services, California Suicide and Crises Hotlines, Stop Stigma, Sacramento, California County Mental Health Access, Peer Support Call Center, SAMHSA Treatment Locator, Communities That Care, Behavioral Health, Telehealth Resources. They got state resources, they got substance abuse, they got for veterans, they got pretty much everything right there. So if you just go to calhope.org, you'll find some information there. Also for housing assistance, right? Because that could be stressful enough. So they have several things there as well, and certain links that people can tune into. So she says, go there, click on that, and then you can find out the information there. So that's pretty good. And then she says, in social media, I will connect with you later to discuss how folks can reach out to the local agencies. Yeah, I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, I need something when it comes to abuse. Okay, that's what I need. So I need an organization that can help people out. Now, I've met people along the way that actually do this, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of lost their information, okay? But there are organizations that actually help somebody if they are like the victim of a beating, right? Maybe their husband or their boyfriend or a guy beat them up, right? They have like housing that they could go to and they could stay there for some time and they can be protected. Now, there's some places which do it right, and there's some places that do it what I would say not right, because at the end of the day, you have a violent person who may have a gun who you don't want to know where you're at, right? So you don't want to notify the guy. You have like certain things that you want to do right, and you want to kind of be careful along the way. There are organizations that do that, and they're very good with that. I would say arm them, though, because at the end of the day, you want security for the people that go there, because some of these guys are next level bad. And just like the movie Enough, although he doesn't like have a gun, she like has her fist. But if he had a gun, he'd beat her up. And that's Billy Campbell that played that as an actor. Now, he is a good guy, obviously. And Jennifer Lopez obviously isn't in that relationship. But that was based on a true story. So, and those things happen all the time. So, you didn't know that, Jesse? Am I wrong on that? Is it just a made-up story?
I don't know, but you know what? I could see that as a real story.
Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it's a real story because I would think somebody's done that before, right? Like, you know, you never know.
It's totally believable. I can believe it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying it was a real story. But it's a type of story that happens out there, and people need to be aware of it. So there you go. Let's see. Yeah, she says, I think it's fantastic that you are focusing on mental health. And I say this. There's a thing as mental health, and then there's a thing as abuse. And I say abuse is wrong. And honestly, it rarely is due to mental health. It's due to somebody just being mean, angry, and upset, and then they're taking out their fists on people, right? And so I say that's wrong 100%. Rarely are they mentally unwell, right? Now, when people take a gun and shoot you, or they take a knife and stab you, that's unwell, 100%, right? But what gets there, right? What gets you there is the question. And I say when it comes to abuse, and it comes to kids getting abused, that's wrong 100%. There's nothing right about that. But kids keep quiet when they go to school. Now, when I shared this story with a school member, she's a librarian, right? And she was like, you know what? This kind of reminds me of some kids that are in our school. But I'm like, yeah, but what are you doing about it? And she's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, schools need to be trained on what to do and how to help the family. Because at the end of the day, they got to go back to that guy if he's not, put away. So there's information out there. And I think we need to get like with law enforcement agencies and then some other like police and cops that can actually do something about it, and then lawyers that can help the family out to kind of break themselves free of that. Because at the end of the day, what you want for the person who abuses is some form of help. You want them, A, to go away for whatever they're doing, and B, you want them to get the help along the way so they break the cycle. Because guaranteed, almost more than not, they were abused some way, somehow. But that doesn't mean you should put up with it. You should report it, and then, of course, bye-bye, right? Especially when they do bad abuse, right? And or because there's mental abuse, but that one's not physical abuse. Physical abuse is a whole other thing, and women sometimes put up with it. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to close the window because evidently there's somebody doing some yard work out there. All right, we'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can let truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. hdrinfo.com.
The staff at Serenity, a fit place for women, reminds our women listeners that breast and cervical cancer are very serious issues. Many women are diagnosed each year with these silent predators. So please schedule a complete physical and screenings today. Don't put it off because early detection is key to increasing survival chances. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Serenity, a fit place for women, at 69930 Highway 111 in Rancho Mirage. They are always working to keep our community moving in a safe, healthy, and positive direction.
It's the Rockefellers Music Festival, May 21st and 22nd at the Dysart Equestrian Center in Banning, with headliners Pat Travers, Boom Boom, Out Go Light, the Zappa Band, Crazy Town, Come My Lady, Come My Lady, and Cottonmouth King. Plus, more than 21 rock bands playing tributes to Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, and more. RV camping, food, Great time for all. Let's go live outside at the Rockefeller's Music Festival. Tickets at rockefellers.live.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, Truckworks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, Truckworks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at Truckworks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff in spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We'll say thank you for tuning in. However you're tuning in, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, and or LinkedIn, we appreciate you. Thank you for sending messages as well, again, on the info that I've been posting about abuse, because it's a thing, and unfortunately we report sometimes the end result. We don't report what happens in the middle. And to those that actually do the right thing and they help people out along the way, I say thank you, because it takes a special person to have to kind of take that and then go next level with it. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes women kind of do something, which is kind of mentioned in the book, and they kind of go back and forth because they don't know what to do, right? And so they need people that know and or have been there in order to know what to do, right? It's very difficult when you're on the outside to know what the abuse is like on the inside. And sometimes people feel trapped in their own home, right? And they shouldn't have to feel that way, because that's kind of the bubble you want to kind of burst and then get out from under, right? And then get the help for the person, because at the end of the day, if you care, and usually people care for the guy. When I say when you have kids, don't care about your kids more than the guy, right? But you know, that's kind of what the book is about. Care about the kids that need help, right? Because sometimes things go next level down the line. Care about their well-being. Care about they and how they grow up. Don't care about the guy at that point. But if you care about the guy and you want to stay with the guy, then I say this: get him help, because at the end of the day, it's only going to go bad for him. Because if he's like that at home, what do you think he's going to do out? Like, you know, if he's like at Walmart and or Target and he meets somebody that gets him upset and are mad, because people are going next level. You saw the Will Smith thing. I mean, I would be like, what's going on there at home, right, Jesse?
Right, most definitely. I'd be like, considering that Will Smith was, well, he's just like the most restrained person ever in his little good bubble, and after that, like, I can only imagine, like, it was funny for a moment, but as I think about it more, it's all like, dang, what could have pushed him to do that stuff?
Yeah, where's the anger coming from, right? That's what I saw, that I was like, what's going on there? And I get it. It was something about his lady. I get that. But Chris Rock is a comedian, period, in a story. And when you look at like what he said, it wasn't that bad. I mean, he's been on the circuit for quite some time. You know, we saw the Chappelle thing. I was surprised, Jesse, I'm not going to lie, that the guy that went to go attack Chappelle evidently not only got out, but he didn't get... Did you see that?
Wait. What?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, after he got stomped by Busta Rhymes, Jamie Foxx, and all those other people. No, I did not know. Wow. Are you serious?
Let's see. He didn't get a felony charge. Okay, so this is the latest. Let's see, because I read some news. I'm getting some news as I see it. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna type this out again. This was about Dave Chappelle, right? Who was attacked at the Hollywood Bowl, right? We reported this, and I saw the knife. It looked like a gun with a knife on the outside, but it was basically a knife. It was like a hidden knife, like in a gun, which doesn't make it any better, right? But I don't know how it got in the Hollywood Bowl to begin with. So this is the latest. So I'll read this latest. This was just posted 2 days ago. Dave Chappelle's attacker, who's 23, appears in court with his bandaged arm in a sling as he pleads not guilty to misdemeanor charge of attacking the comedian and is held on $30,000 bail. Okay, I get that. Got it. So they're not charging him with a felony. I don't know if that's the right thing, because at the end of the day, he charged after Chappelle with a weapon. If he would have stabbed him, wouldn't that be a thing, or is it not a thing? I'm so confused on this, Jesse.
I have no idea, but all I'm seeing is, hey, we can run up on celebrities and not get in trouble, so let's go.
Yeah,
That's what I get from it.
basically, that's what I'm saying. What's going on? Poor comedians, right? What did you start, Will? Oh, man. So there you go. It's a thing. Lee was charged with battery. His name is Isaiah Lee. Possession of a weapon with intent to assault, and 2 other charges related to interfering with the Chappelle's stand-up show. He was filmed storming the stage at the Hollywood Bowl on Wednesday night. I mean, you can't get more clearer than that. I don't know why the guy just didn't say guilty. But Chappelle was able to sidestep him and avoid injury, thank God. Lee had his arm broken during his arrest. I don't feel sorry for him. And appeared to have it bandaged when he appeared in court on Friday. He's just going with that whole... Seriously dumb. Lee, let's see. A judge ordered him to stay 100 feet away from the Hollywood Bowl and from Chappelle. Yeah, no duh. His home and venues where he performs. Yeah, you think? So there you go. I think there needs to be more done. I think people are getting away with it way too much, and I think it's just odd. And you know what? These are the kind of people that they let out, and they do some harm later, and then people go, "What happened along the way?" Right? Like, what are people allowing to happen, and why are people getting away with it, right? That's what I say. I mean, I could be wrong about this. I don't know if I'm right, but I think I'm right, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But there you go. That's a story. I'm sticking to it. But, you know, the way he kind of, like, didn't really get, how do I say? He didn't get the book thrown at him, when I think he should have. He's the one that charged at him. And, again, if Chappelle would have died, what would this guy get, right? So that's mental health that's unwell, right? Don't you think? I think this guy needs help. Throw the book in. Why not?
Yeah.
If you can't perform and, like, have fun, then, I mean, what are we doing, you know?
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Chappelle said that he asked police whether he could speak to Lee, who had stormed onto the stage holding a replica gun with a knife attached. Police granted him access to a room where he was being held. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't know this. According to this, let's see. Chappelle said, I needed to talk to him. Chappelle told his audience at LA's Comedy Store's secret 70-chair room, the Belly Room, on Thursday night, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Chappelle said that the attack was down to Lee's grandmother from Brooklyn, who was forced out of her neighborhood because of gentrification, and the stunt was meant to draw attention to the issue. He joked about the situation alongside fellow comedian Chris Rock, who was slapped by Will Smith during the Oscar ceremony, stating, "At least you got smacked by someone of repute. I got smacked by a homeless guy who with leaves in his hair." Jesse, at least they're having fun with it, man. Seriously.
Right. Yeah, they have a good attitude. Let's be real. At least Chris Rock got slapped by somebody famous. So
Yeah.
plus,
Well, here's what Chappelle said. Okay, so this is Chappelle. People don't even know how Chappelle is, like, behind the scenes, Jesse. But here's Chappelle. Okay, Chappelle joked that his attacker was a transgender man, a reference to his Netflix special The Closure, which sparked woke fury over his gags about transgender people and support for J.K. Rowling. Okay, the author having it says castigate, I don't know what that word is, for insisting that transgender women should not be given access to some single-sex spaces, including changing rooms and women's prisons, for safety reasons. Now, on Wednesday, Chappelle said via a representative that he did not want the incident to overshadow a great event, referencing his Netflix comedy show. Dave Chappelle celebrated 4 nights of comedy and music, setting record-breaking sales for a comedian at the Hollywood Bowl, and he refuses to allow last night's incident to overshadow the magic of this historic moment, according to his rep, which said, as unfortunate and unsettling as the incident was, Chappelle went on with the show. Netflix and the Hollywood Bowl said they were cooperating with the police investigation into what happened. So I guess, it says Lee faces only misdemeanor charges over the attack after LA District Attorney George Gascon. I'm telling you, this guy needs to be recalled. I guarantee it. This guy he just allows guys to get away with things no matter what. I think, if anything, they should I do you know of the guy that was like, I'm going to tattoo this guy's name on my body because I love this guy, because that guy was like a felon and he gets out like quicker than most. I don't get it, Jesse. Like, Gascon is doing the wrong thing here, and we're stuck with this guy. Why are we stuck with this guy? Gascon's office, which is famously in favor of low or no cash bonds, of course, chose not to pursue the most serious line of punishment over the concealed weapon. There it is. I don't know what's going on with the DA. The district attorney is the dumbest thing since sliced bread. This is why you need Batman. I'm telling you, Jesse. People just don't get it.
Oh my God! If Batman was real. I would hope things would be a little bit better. But you know what? It kind of feels like, yeah, it's like people get in trouble, but then they're released like the very next day.
Yeah.
And then they proceed a week later to murder somebody.
This is
Not
the
all the time, but you know what happens.
This is the part that gets me mad. They refer the case to the LA City attorney Mike Feuer, recommending a misdemeanor charge. They recommend it. You see that? Just let this guy go away. He's obviously, not that bad. I mean, he charged with a knife. What is wrong with you people? Seriously, if you were attacked with a knife, I'm pretty sure you'd want the book thrown at him. Because the evidence as presented did not constitute felony conduct, according to their information. Oh, man. When announcing the charges on Thursday, LA City Attorney Mike Feuer seemed to throw shade at the DA, saying, "My office takes protecting public safety extremely seriously." So they're just throwing stuff back at each other. Oh, man, Gascon, get with it. Gascon's been vocal about his belief that the criminal justice system needs to focus more on intervention rehabilitation. Yeah, but you got to lock them up to get the rehabilitation. How are you going to get the rehabilitation if you don't lock them up? This is the problem. This is the problem. I'm done. Jesse, just you take over from here. I'm done. I'm so frustrated with this.
No, I mean, honestly, if they were getting reformed and, if they felt like changing, I'm all for it. I mean, there's a prison somewhere in Europe where, you know what? Honestly, it looks like a freaking luxury resort. They have their own TV, all this stuff. But yeah, no, it feels like if they can have a chance to, reform, but then it's just like, do they really want to change, or they just want to get out and keep doing it again and again and again and again?
Thank you. You know the guy that got out with the lady that like helped him out, the police officer lady or whatever she is. So he wants to go hurt his ex. She, I guarantee, is going missing. And the ex is going to be like, "Can you protect me?" Who's going to protect her? You know what I mean? No one thinks about the repercussions of these things. Seriously, people, get it together. All right, let's see. Social media before we go on a huge break for tomorrow. Ellie Gonzalez says, also known as Elizabeth Gonzalez from Atlanta, Georgia, says, another movie similar to Enough with J-Lo is Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts. So go check that out. And then she says, unfortunately, but it's happening on a daily basis. We have to raise awareness and support each other by denouncing any case of domestic violence. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Eugenia from also Georgia says, good morning. Just tuning in on lunch break. Wow. All right, people. We got to see you tomorrow. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. And download our app. It's free. KMET, 1490 AM. Jesse, take it away. For those of you still tuning in, thank you for spending some time with us. Just want to spend a few really quick minutes. Remember one thing, okay? There are things that go on in the world, and we got to be ahead of it, okay? So, again, I'm going to go ahead and put out the information here. It's the book. I went ahead and posted just a little of it already as a little trailer, so you can check it out. I put it on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, so you can check it out. I did several of them because I actually got it wrong a couple of times, and then I edited it, and then once I edited it, it was done a little differently, so it has a little bit more of a story, but I still got to work on it. It's got basically 8 pages of the book. It's going to be more pages than that, but it has a very interesting story. But if you read it out loud and you just read it word for word, I think you'll find it very interesting. So it's entitled A Good Man, and it's about brothers, a mother, and a bad guy. All right, so that's how quick and fast I say it. And like I say, always report and or be, at least do this, all right? And I say this as much as possible, and I get it. It's very difficult when you're in the situation. It's difficult to say, I need help. But if you need help, just send a message, okay? We'll put you in touch with the right authorities. I just got to find the right authorities, seriously. And then, we get you the help you need. Because sometimes you discover people talking about it, but they say, call this number, and then, nobody calls the number. But you don't know who to reach out to. So I say this, we can help you with the right people. I know I've helped several people along the way before. They reached out for help, and we got them help. I just had to call in some favors, and we got them help. So if you need help, just reach out and say, hey, I need help. I don't know always every single area, which again is why I need a national organization rather than just regional, but I need somebody to help people out. So if you know of organizations like this, let me know, okay? Or if you were on the side of it, because I know some people get away from it. I know one person from Canada said she got away from that. Some people have to literally get out of the area, but some don't even report it, and that guy goes free, and then he abuses, 3 other people along, boys and or girls. So that's what I'm saying. We got to protect the little ones, right? Sometimes as adults, we say, oh, it's okay if I get it. I say walk away from it, right? But you got to think, okay, when they do it to the little ones, that's the problem, right? And again, back to my father or my stepdad, he had a problem when he grew up, right? But he stopped it, okay? Now, I will say this. On the opposite end of that, my mom was a victim of abuse, right? But she walked away from it, and she got away from it, right? So I say this. If you could do the right thing, walk away, all right? That's number one. Number two, if you have kids and they're abusing the kids, well, then report it, obviously, right? And if it continues, you need to get the person help, right? So I say if it is maybe a little bit of mental unwellness, we'll go with that, because there are people that deal with that, then stop it, nip it in the bud, right? And that's kind of what the book kind of talks about. It talks about, call somebody to get the help you need. And a lot of people don't know that there's organizations like that. I know a lot of social workers that are friends that, in fact, I just found a few, and I said, hey, by the way, if you need some information, I have a feeling that guy did it. But, if you see acting out with kids, boys and or girls, and you wonder what's going on, guaranteed something's going on in the home, right? There's certain behaviors that are very consistent with abuse, okay? And if you go, I wonder why the kid's like that, I could almost guarantee you there's something going on at the home. Almost guarantee you, okay? And sometimes it's very difficult for people to kind of know that, but I say on the front lines are the professionals called teachers and people that work in the school, right? So we got to get the schools on the same page. So that's why I came up with the book that looks like a children's book, for the reason that it's very simple, it's very easy to kind of read it, and then kind of for kids to go, hey, I need help because I kind of know a kid like that, right? Which sometimes they do that, and sometimes they just say that, and you go, oh, okay. And then you have a trusted professional there, usually a woman officer, and then the woman officer says, how can I help you? And then you do a reading like that, and guess what? So if you need me to come to your school and read this book, all you have to do is request a copy. I can show it to you, and then we can edit it along the way and make it tailor fit for the school district, and then we can read that, and then have the local police agency there, and then they could just be like, trust a professional called a woman officer, right? And or a man officer, or a couple of them, right? But kids usually warm up with the woman officer because the woman officer is gentle with them, and they're not like, hey, what's going on, right? Unless you have a good police officer with the woman officer. But you got to have a woman officer there. That way, at least the little girls feel comfortable talking to a woman officer, all right? So you got to do that. So if you know women officers, let them know I'm here, because I think everybody needs to be understanding of this, because sometimes we don't talk about it. It's a very serious subject, but it's something that happens more often than not. And you hear about it later in years, but you don't hear it along the way. And then you're hearing so many things that go next level in certain homes. I know we had one in Irvine, right, which is a very nice part of town. And there was a whole family found dead, right? What happened there, right? What was the abuse like in the days leading up to it? Very rarely is it all of a sudden, right? It's usually a problem along the way. Kind of like the one I was talking about in Woodland Hills, right? Or West Hills, whatever they want to call it. That one, people say they heard about abuse along the way ahead of time, meaning that they heard screaming and or fighting on the inside. Well, what do you do, right? And usually when you're the one to call the police, what do they do? Oh, don't worry, right? But police never follow up. So there needs to be a follow-up program, because I guarantee you, when social is allowed to do their job, they come in and they kind of assess the situation. They say, all right. And at the end of the day, if they can prevent something bad from happening, then everybody wins, right? But if something bad does happen, then you go, well, who knew about it, right? kind of like the what's that name, Petito? Yeah, that situation, right? When they kind of like saw her, but she said, "Oh, it's all right," and then she went missing, and then found dead, and then the guy went missing, and he was the guy that probably did something, right? They could have prevented it. Do you think they feel bad for doing that? Oh yeah, absolutely. But is there something they could have done? Yeah, absolutely, right? Follow up. So there needs to be a follow-up thing. And I know a lot of police officers don't have the time and or the resources to do that. Well, that's where social comes into play. When social follows up with the family, then they at least kind of see it all the way through. And then they have the authority to call the sheriffs and or the police and say, hey, we need that person locked up because he's abusing the family, right? But you need to know the resources are there. And then when you have the resources, then you know you're not alone. Now, when there's family that know and they keep quiet about it, kind of like the movie Enough, right? Well, what did he do, right? I think it was in the movie. There were a couple like Hallmark specials too at Lifetime Movie Network channels that I did watch. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that guy. But it kind of speaks to the women out there, and then it says, hey, call this number at the end of the day. But sometimes they don't call the number. They just kind of live with it and they hope it'll change. Yep. Black guy after black guy after black guy after black guy after black guy, guess what? Never changes. So guys like this get away with it, and I say no, I had enough, okay? I have nothing, as I always tell people that. But I say this, you have something to lose. It's called your life, and or your family, and or your loved one, and or your kids. Don't let your kids be the brunt of the abuse, okay? Don't let that happen, all right? So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Whatever you say out there, just remember, be on the right side of things, all right? And again, check it out. A good man wrote it, writing it still, and kind of revising it, but I need your input, and I need the organization I put at the end of it, hopefully with a QR code and something that says, hey, check us out, right? So there you go. All right, people, we love you. We appreciate you. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.